Minasan konnichiwa, it's Sensei here, ready to teach you lesson 3. We're going to be learning the next 10 hiragana, which will bring us to a grand total of 30 that we should be able to read and recognize. So let's get started. So today we are going to be starting with na, ni, nu, ne, and no. And as you can see on the chart, we're halfway through. So first we've got na, and this is a nun kneeling in front of a cross. So you've got the cross up on the left, followed by the nun kneeling down and praying under the cross. So this is na for nun, na. This one here is ni. You've got the needle and the thread. So you've got the needle on the left and the spool of cotton on the right. The other one that I say is, if you can imagine halfway down someone's leg, their knee. They've got the side of the knee and the knee cap, so the top and the bottom of the kneecap. So the side of the knee and the kneecap, ni. This one is nu, the egg fell out of the bowl with the noodles and the chopsticks. So we have a little chant for this one to help us remember. We say 1 chopstick, 2 chopsticks, bowl and a noodle. 1 chopstick, 2 chopsticks, bowl and a noodle. So nu for noodle. This one is net. I caught a big fish in my net. If you can see the person holding the big net down at the bottom there in the illustration. The other one that I say is, the word for cat in Japanese is neko. And to me, I think it's a leg of a chair, the ears, the paws, and the arched back of a neko, or a cat with its curled up tail. So leg of a chair, ears, paws, arched up back, and a curled up tail. So ne for neko. This next one is not for do not enter, or you can imagine this as a sign somewhere where you might have a car drawn in the middle of the circle and a line going through it, which means to everybody no parking. So this is not for no parking or do not do something. So not. So the next 5 hiragana are ha, hi, fu, he, ho. And the one in the middle there, fu, can sometimes sound a little bit like hu. So that's why it's in that row. Once upon a time it used to be hu, but over time it changed to fu. So this is ha for I live in a house. I actually say a different one, which you wouldn't be surprised to hear, because I have a few of those. My story is, I think it looks like a capital H, and instead of having the little a next to it on the right, it's actually on the inside of the capital H. So you've got the capital H and the little a at the bottom, spelling ha, H-A, ha. This one is hi for he is on the wall, or hi, it's a giggling, laughing face with a really big smile. Hi. This is fu for Mount Fuji. You've got the top, the middle, and the sides of the mountain. So it looks a bit like Mount Fuji, if you can imagine filling in the gaps there. I also see this one often written where the middle one is joined, a little bit like a number 3, and the 2 sides of the mountain are just straight lines. So fu for Mount Fuji. This is he for there's a haystack. I don't think that one really works for me. And I say this is he for an arrow pointing to heaven. So you've got an arrow pointing up, directly up in the sky. So it's he, an arrow pointing to heaven, he. Last of all, this one is connected to the ha, where the house becomes a home because it's got a satellite. But once again, I actually just say it's the capital H with the A, ha, but it's got a lid or a hat on the very top because it's hot. So this is a ha with a hat on because it's hot. So hot for hot.